to send in a question. His name is Eric, right, in Georgia. And his question was, what suggestion could you give to a person who has a family member with a mental health problem, and what options are there for them, Stephanie?
Okay, well, I would first suggest that so if you have a family member who is suffering, you want to definitely have conversations with them.
Okay.
You want to kind of, see if I don't know if how it came about, but if you recognize that they have a problem or another family member shared with you that they have a problem, you want to establish whether or not they have someone to talk to, first of all.
Okay.
Because what tends to happen with mental illness, depending on, say if it's depression, for example, depression can turn into suicidal thoughts.
Cool.
And so what you want to be careful of is making sure that person is not isolating themselves,
Yes.
making sure that they're not, just excluding themselves from the normal everyday, say not going to work, not getting up out of the bed,
Yes.
not wanting to be around people. You want to be mindful of those type of situations when someone has, shared with you that they're feeling sad, they're feeling blue, they're feeling down, and don't have energy. So my first suggestion would definitely to be making sure that they had someone around them. And then also to, you want to introduce talking to a professional very sensitively.
Yeah.
Because, another thing with mental illness is the person has to accept that there's something not right with their life.
Yeah.
Just because you suggest they go see someone, that's not going to always happen. So you want to just find a way to talk to them, to find out what's going on, help them to see that if these feelings are causing them to deviate from their normal everyday life, then at that time it's important to talk to someone professional.
All right, and that is really important. I also had another question. This is from Deborah in Texas,
Okay.
and her question was actually, if a person has the behavior and you recognize it, and it's just a friend, but every aspect of their lives, they're dealing with different people, and everybody has the same issue with this person. How do you go about getting them help? Like, they're confrontational. If you try to have conversations and it's not just you, it's pretty much everybody they come in contact with, but they don't see it. So how do you help a friend in that area? Or, is it just at a point in time where you have to kind of let that friendship go?
Well, let's see. So that's a good question. I would say that it's also a tough situation.
Okay.
Because, and what makes it tough is, again, like mentioning before, having someone to have insight into their own behavior,
Yeah.
and you being on the outside looking in, totally different.
Right.
And so it can be a tricky situation when you're trying to, just depend the angle that you take, just being understanding to that person, sharing with that person, maybe asking if they were aware,
Okay.
of that behavior. I would choose a time that something specific happens, and just asking them, how, were you aware that this happened, and how do you feel about this situation, or try to get them to see the patterns. You just want to kind of display it for them,
Okay.
or highlight it for them, and allow them to kind of see it for themselves. Because if they don't see it for themselves, you can begin to look at defensiveness, or you're against me, that
Yes.
type of thing. So you just want to be careful how you approach it.
And you know what is so, I was telling, we were talking a little bit in the break, and I was saying how one day I went out to dinner one evening with my husband, and I don't know what made me decide to just kind of look around. It was in a romantic kind of restaurant, and me and him are laughing and telling little silly jokes. And people were looking at us like, I mean, could y'all sit down and be quiet? I mean, we're in a restaurant, public atmosphere. I'm looking like, okay, I don't know anybody who ain't happy to be in a good restaurant with good food, okay? But as I'm looking at people, I'm watching these couples, and they were so robotic. There was no conversation. Most of the men and the ladies weren't even looking at each other. Their heads were down as they were eating their food. And, there was not a lot of conversation going on, not even a lot of intimacy, going on with maybe a little cuddling or even holding of the hands in a romantic setting restaurant. So for me, I just thought to myself, God, that just seems so good at all. We actually have a caller on the line, and I just want to make sure, did you have a comment or a question tonight, caller?
Hey, is that me?
I'm sorry?
Hello, is that me? Are you talking to me? Because, yes, I got a question and a comment.
All right. Give us your question.
Okay, my question is, as far as your topic, because I've listened to 3 different segments, and I'm not sure where you are. I heard about the relationship, the romantic dinner, and the other thing as far as, her speaking about somebody who might have some depression issues, and I'm wondering, the path that you're on right now, because I've got an adopted daughter who's 17, and she has been diagnosed with bipolar, schizophrenia, ADHD. She's 17 years old. Her mother and father both were mentally challenged. And she is luckily now able to get in touch with kids. She should be in the 11th grade. And I've dealt with this child for a number of years. She's like an adopted daughter for me. And beautiful little girl. And she does a number of things, and because people are told all of her life, you're this, you're this, you're this, I see individuals. Now, my degree is sociology. I'm not a psychologist, but I'm an established sociologist. So I see, environment and cause and effect. And I watch children in certain areas. I grew up with ADHD, didn't even know it. I grew up dyslexic, didn't even know it until after college. But my thing is this. I've watched this child sing a song. I've watched this child do a dance. I've watched this child come home from school and can recite conversations which are real and or imagined from people talking to her and or about her in school all day, but she can't retain information. So I'm wondering if certain aspects, what's real and what's imagined, what do we actually put upon people with these clinical titles of schizophrenia, bipolarism, ADHD, etc., and what's actually real. Because my thought is this. If an individual can sing a song and can recite other individuals, that's selective retention. That means they choose to retain certain things and work with things. Now, I'm not saying that there are certain people out there that have problems, issues, and or concerns as young individuals, young adults, and then adults that go in, and deal with certain things. But how much credence do we give to certain things, or do we shake the hell out of somebody, slap them, and say, look, get right. Okay, stop messing with the BS one or the other, because if you can do one thing and can't do the other, I understand something. And I say this because my adoptive daughter, she'll never be able to live on her own presently in the sense that she's working with. This is something that I've seen, observed, and no one understands. You cannot give her free instruction. You cannot consecutively in one breath. Because you go into the cabinet, take out a plate, go into the refrigerator, get this dish for me, and put it in the microwave. She's going to lose one of the three. I swear.
Okay.
So how do you deal with things in that particular aspect as far as mental health is concerned?
Stephanie, you got your hands full on that one.
Well. First of all, so you said that has there been a formal diagnosis? You mentioned ADHD, bipolar.
Formal diagnosis.
Okay, so for me, I am able to diagnose, but I generally get to the root cause by talking to people, understanding, psychotherapy, we don't give medication. So generally when someone has been diagnosed with the ones that you mentioned, especially bipolar and schizophrenia, excuse me, it generally requires medication. So,
She's medicated, but I don't think it's strong enough.
okay, okay, yes.
And they'll tell us at
I,
times
I,
that
I
you
don't
have
want
to
her.
try.
I don't want her impaired to the point of she's, zombie-like.
Right.
But there are certain things that go off with this young lady that she gets locked. I mean, when she gets distracted by something and say something upsets her mentally and or emotionally, she won't let it go. She's a dog with a bone. If she feels somebody was talking negatively about her or doing something, she'll continue until I say, shut up, let that go. Stop. We need to move on from this to that. And she'll physically move forward, but I hear her mumbling all over the place.
You know what?
And that's not healthy.
And I've actually witnessed that behavior too. I like your stand on the fact that you did say that, a lot of times if they can do one thing, they can do another. I tell you, the topic of medicine is so touchy for me personally because I've had a situation where I've had to deal with this. And the very first thing after 12 minutes of, diagnosis someone close to me, that is exactly what they said. Oh, she's bipolar schizophrenia. And they already had this medicine packet ready and set up for me to give, someone close to me. Well, my question was, so if you medicate them, because what they told me was that it was a chemical imbalance. So my question was, okay, if we medicate them, what is the resolution? Because even after medication, they still have to deal with life. Life is not going anywhere. The same issues that they have, they're going to continue to have. So, and then some of those medicines, after I looked them up, of course, were on bad drug lists. Then they had these, side effects talking about suicidal tendencies and all kind of foolishness. Listen, I told the judge and the advocate at that particular time, we'll be in here for something totally different if somebody come and be talking about they all of a sudden feel murderous, and I'm the recipient of their murderous actions. Sorry, so it's a very fine line, and then there are legitimate reasons that require that you take this medicine, and unfortunately sometimes they gotta play with different ones before they know what really works with your child, or what will work for her. And that's the sad part. You gotta play with it until it works. It's so, I mean, the whole subject, I know you have to understand chemical imbalances, but a lot of times I always do refer back in the olden days. Discipline took care of all that foolishness.
And in addition to that, you also have to consider the diet. I mean, a child that's 17 years old and displaying ADHD, for an example, you want to look at what they're eating, when they're eating. I mean, that a lot of times it is as simple as making some changes with the diet.
Wow.
Not always, but there are times.
Wow, that's important to know because I don't think anyone realizes food may be associated with mental health.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that would definitely be something to consider. And then psychotherapy, once again, that's what I do. And psychotherapy is basically talking and listening.
Well, I can, first of all, hi, Stephanie. Long time no speak. That's number one. Nice to hear your voice.
Hi there.
And it was always a pleasure. My apologies, I should have said that at the beginning. I appreciate you allowing me to be on.
That's okay.
Getting
Thank
back
you.
to the topic, I've seen a number of things, and I do understand that from another area, a person like this can't be sheltered. Angela, like yourself, I'm incredibly against a lot of medications based upon certain things because they seem ready to package anything and say, here, take this. And yes, just because they give a disclaimer of the side effects could be they'll kill themselves and or you and everybody else.
Right.
And because they say that, if you take that, that takes away their liability. So I'm like, oh, no. But again, dealing with the individual, I'm talking with them, walking with them, trying to give them direction on certain things and throwing so much crap that you hope something sticks.
Yes.
And That's what I've been striving to do. I talk with her on a regular basis, but I have no problem choking her out if necessary because she'll go into like, I'm old school. I believe I will kick a kid's butt. I am not the one. That's first and foremost to let them know because she'll mess with everybody else. But I'll look at her and you get that black man, black woman look. For anybody who don't know what that is, you ain't grown up with, Big Mama. Okay? But, I can give her a look and she'll chill for a second, but she still tries to raise up.
Right.
From time to time, like she'll be like, yeah, okay, and I'm gonna suck it to her one more time, and I guarantee you'll be looking at her. Okay. Now I don't necessarily need to go that way. I'm not about physical violence. I would rather talk to her. But sometimes, you have to let an individual know, young or old, let them know I will get at you. Because obviously me communicating with you mentally or emotionally is not taking form. So you need to know that physically I will snatch you up. Because the police kill mentally deficient individuals by not knowing. A person may be resisting, not even realizing they're resisting. If you see something like that. So the mental health situation also has a disastrous impact for other people, society, who don't know this person. If this young man, young woman, older woman gets out there in the street and they're acting somewhat erratic, police don't care. And this is not a police thing. But I'm just saying, if somebody sees somebody who's mentally disturbed and they say, this is crazy person, the person describing or calling it in for the person to get help or assistance, and people have done this legitimately, and we know people have gotten killed. Accidentally, because they resisted and a cop didn't realize the person had a mental deficiency. That's not their job. They see somebody and it's a potential danger based upon who they are and that they're working with. And this young lady who's my adopted daughter, I can see her like that. She's only 104 pounds, but she's a fireball. I used to tell her, I think you should sit down and be quiet when somebody breaks you into several pieces. That ain't the case. This little girl can get in work. And I do mean physically. I've seen her jump on 2 other boys, and I had to pull her off. So I know physically she can get it in. So it's not even about her size. It's about the fight in her. When she gets her mindset to certain things, she will go. And on a mental capacity, she's not thinking. She's simply feeling and reacting. So how do you account for this? If you wish to diminish the medical side effects as far as medication is concerned. And we try to talk every day. We let her know you're loved and supported, but they are incredibly sharp in other areas. And people who have been told, I'm this, become manipulative based upon who they think they say they are. If I tell you that you're schizophrenic, you can say, well, I guess you don't know who you're dealing with today, because I'm that other person. And then later on, they'll come back, well, I'm sorry, I wasn't myself. I'm a big girl behind and the other person behind too. Okay? You have to let them know there is no getting away from things, and that's how I operate with her. There is no escape. All your personality is about to get beat because nobody else in free society will care, or they may not recognize.
Right, and
these type of things that are going on.
One place I would start, Burnell, is leaving the diagnosis off. You mentioned something important. A lot of times when we use the diagnosis, especially when you're dealing with a child, they're just living up to the diagnosis, the tag that they've already been given.
Yes.
But rather than continuing the dialogue using the titles or the tags, just talk to her as a young lady. Is she involved socially with her peer group? Just really getting at the person, who she really is, and leaving off the diagnosis.
I want to hit you step by step, if I may, because I want you to continue, but I want to address what you're working with on each point as you bring it up, so we don't get lost. She cannot deal with things on a social basis because after going through 3 different schools in the Georgia area, in the state of Georgia, 3 different schools, the problem is repetitive. They're talking about me. They get on my nerves. She's wound up getting in-school suspension, out-school suspension. She's been kicked and banned from the school bus. And I have to let her know, If you do certain things like this, and I address her, I take her by the hand, and I go walking with her. I'll buy her some ice cream, and I try to talk with her before I choke her out. And I do. I let you know. I get at her, to let me know some things are intolerable. But I always try to reach to her emotionally, mentally first. I always do that. And I say, well, you've been here. There was a problem. And okay, so I gave you benefit of doubt. You went to this other school. There was a problem. So the doubt has been removed. Okay, now it's speculation. Now you're at the third spot, and the exact same thing is going on. There was no longer speculation. You are your own problem right now. So what are we going to do to fix what we're going through at this point so we don't keep going through it? Now, from my sociological background, I never say you, my, or I don't individualize it. And let me know if that's correct from a psychological point of view. I let her know that I support. I back. It's not you. You're not alone. It's a we, us, and our thing all the time. Well, we're going to work this out. We're going to make this happen. We're going to do everything we can to get right with some things so we can be successful. I strive to say that and work that all the time. It never sticks.
Right.
And it's getting worse.
Okay, so another question that I would ask is, there's always a purpose for behavior. I don't really care. Again, I totally ignored the diagnosis title. But what the behavior, there's always a purpose for behavior. And a lot of times the type of what you've described just so far with that young lady, she could be, her self-esteem sounds to be very low. A lot of time, teenagers in that situation, they're going to reject you before they're rejected. So the getting kicked out of the school, for example, that's just a way, sometimes a defense mechanism just to, I'm going to get put out before you put me out, so to speak, because of being rejected. I don't know the history of the family with the child, but I just believe that there's a purpose for the behavior, and you have to really get at the root of what is the payoff. What is she getting from getting kicked out of school? There's a reason why that's happening.
Well, I don't understand it because she doesn't really like school. She's good at some things. She likes to go. She loves to socialize. Okay, but it always turns into an issue of he said, she said. This girl thinks I like her boyfriend, and I'm like, don't make me choke you. I'm not even interested in hearing that. Please stop. I always say, what have you learned today? Your focus. She gets in an IEP situation. Okay, small classes, no more than 7 or 8 individuals,
Right.
And a couple of classes are all female, etc. I try to keep her separated, but then she's in a mainstream high school, a very large high school, and 1 year, okay, I can't figure out what she gets out of failing, okay? Because I can tell you right now, this child will never be able to support herself. She will never be able to get a job and keep it. Because she can talk for 3 days. As soon as somebody realizes that she can't take 3 consecutive orders at one time, once she gets situated with something, she can continue with it. You just have to remind her, can you go do it? Poof, she'll go do it. But on a business level, most people aren't going to give that type of an opportunity. So that is incredibly frightening to me. So I don't know what she's getting out of failing.
Yeah, you know what?
I do not know what she's getting out of failing and or rejection, because she acts like, and I do know her esteem is not great. I do know this. She can't stand her hair, but physically she's a beautiful girl. She really, really is. She's in the shape that most young ladies would love to be at. She really, really is at her age, and she likes boys, and that was an issue in the first high school or the junior high before she was high school, and that was terrifying. There was a serious police situation that could have gotten some other people arrested for life. This child has no conscience of right or wrong.
I tell you what, Burnell.
I'll give you a perfect example, if I may.
Burnell, what I would like to do, can you hear me? No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you guys are breaking up. I can't hear too much.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you fine.
Okay, great. What I would like to do, I'm gonna go ahead only because for the sake of time, I really want you to get the help that you need. So I'm gonna let us take this offline, excuse me, so that you can talk more in depth to Stephanie, and maybe we can help you in areas of getting the results that that you need for your stepdaughter, because we definitely want to help, but we have another show that's even more amazing, and we have a fun topic on that particular show.
What time is it?
It is roughly 5 minutes to 9.
Oh, wow, 53. Jeez, time flew.
Yes, it does. It does. But we'll definitely, piggyback with you offline. I just want to be able to go ahead and, close this out for Stephanie. And then we will definitely be back. We'll have you back, Stephanie, so that we can continue tackling, because, Burnell, you were saying when you first got on that there were so many topics, because mental health is just so broad. There's no way of kind of narrowing everything for us to get through, the majority of the things that encompass mental health. We definitely are going to need more time. But I thank you so much. If you could just mute your phone, and then we will piggyback with you offline and get you the help you need, okay?
Thank you. Phone being muted now.
All right. Thank you, sir. And Miss Stephanie, I just want to thank you. I know we're, pressed for time right now, but unfortunately, that's not as uncommon, because some of those scenarios that he brought up are things that I've gone through personally as well in my household. So he's right about the IEPs and getting in trouble and the different things, and immediately again it comes off of this diagnosis. And the sad part about it is, where I live, there's so many kids that have that same diagnosis. Excuse me, and I never would have even known until I took a person in my family, and we get there and it's the entire neighborhood. I'm like, oh my God. So there's so many parents that deal with this and just don't know how to handle it. So like I said, we will definitely, sir, get you the help that you need. We thank you so much for calling in. And Miss Stephanie, how can anyone that needs some kind of, just someone to talk to on any level with regards to, just feeling sane, how could they get in contact with you and let them know your information?
Absolutely. You can reach me on my website at www.findhelpforyou.com, and a different address but same location. My business is On the Moment Counseling Services. You can also reach me at 678-408-1513. Also on social media, Instagram, sorry,
That's okay.
On the Moment, also Twitter, On the Moment, and Facebook, On the Moment Counseling Services. So any of those venues, you can reach me.
Well, I thank you so much for being on the show this evening. Excuse me. And like I said, we're going to get that young man help, and we're going to have you back so that we can get a total, package of what mental health is all about, and the help that we need for the different areas. Excuse me. Thank you so much for tuning in each and every Monday night. This is the Angela Foxworth Show right here on 108 Praise Radio from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We are part of Monday Domination, James Patterson at 7, my show at 8, and of course Hot Life is on its way to you right now from 9 to 10. We are going to have, this is part of Monday Domination, and we're going to have a good time on that show. You can reach me on social media, The Angela Foxworth Show, Truth of the Matter, and on Instagram at @AFoxRadio. Again, have a wonderful evening. You are listening to the Angela Foxworth Show, where knowing the truth really does matter. And you know me, I am always interviewing with a purpose. You have a wonderful evening. Thank you and good night.